Hi, me Nitish Kumar. Just today want to talk about secularism and India. Secularism is something which can't be separated with India. Secularism is something which is the basic tenet or the basic foundation on which Indian civilization is based upon. India has been the cradle of variety of religious sects and organizations, which is gift to its vast diversity based on geographical, cultural, as well as the large migration over the throughout the history and the upsurge of philosophical thought process which have got entirely uninterrupted and flowed in this part of the world. India is the cradle of religion. Someone I thought saw an article which the Modi government is using COVID-19 crisis to incite hatred against Muslim. It is an article by Arundhati Roy in the week. I don't believe in the fact that someone who has become prime minister or someone who is have an ability to be the run this country can be so communal, divisive. Maybe initial phase he might or anyone might have been, but to run this country it can't be run without secularism. The country with huge lingual, cultural, genetic diversity, racial genetic diversity can't be run on some thin line of ideology or a narrow definition of religion. Yeah, it is understandable that every ruler in this country or anywhere would have certain inclination towards from where he is coming in from, a cultural inclination or religious inclination, but that doesn't mean that anyone who have to rule this country can just masquerade over all over. So it seems to be something being this type of ideology being pushed against someone or anyone for the sake, just with a little biasness, I think. No one can afford in this country to be the ruler of this country as what they call Akhanda Bharat and being communal at the same time. These two these two ideas can never survive in this land. What we call today Hinduism is divided into several castes and sects together. So it's very difficult for me, from my basic understanding of the Indian history and the cultural traits, whichever I have, which a little bit which I have experienced within this vast, diverse land, it is not possible simply to rule this country based on a narrow definition of religion and cultural identity. This nation has this huge cultural diversity, which is from east to west, north to south. There is a direct change here. So, how can someone just based on narrow cultural idea, religious idea, when within a religion there are so many sects? An ambitious ruler with or an ambitious party would never do this. Yeah, there may be differences, ideological basis of uh, some theocratic biases. What I mean with that theocratic biases, when some group, every and this huge mass of group people, and when there are so many religious groups, everyone wants to expand their, want to have a bigger pie of the cake, share influence and power, enjoy that power. But they can't eliminate everyone else or anyone, because this inherent diversity which offers a sense of security, and it could act as a counter productive insecurity in other all the other section of the society if one section starts dominating the other one. So it is not possible for me, I think, to rule this country on the narrow lines, and that to be from the position of prime minister with so much religious biases. I don't know why people think so, but anyone who is highly immature would do that. Bye. Thank you. Dhanyavad.